Hey friends, it's Rachel with the Ponds Farmhouse, and I'm back today with another cheap and easy DIY project for you. I recently saw this freestanding terrarium, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. And so it was it was a little over $250, and I thought, well, let's see what it would take to make something that looked like that. So I first of all headed off to the Dollar Tree, and I found these great wooden frames, 8 by 10. You need 6 of those. And then I found the garden fencing. I've used that in the past, but it's going to help really add character to this terrarium. And all you need in addition to that is some snips to work on the garden fence, some wire snips to help deconstruct these frames, and then some white paint and a little bit of dark wax to make them look aged. My base is actually a thrift store wooden stool that I found, and I think it was maybe $10. So this is going to be a project that is a fraction of the cost of the original. So if you like those kind of projects, let's get started, okay? Okay friends, we're ready to get started. We're starting out here with 6 of the 8 by 10 picture frames from the Dollar Tree. These are wooden frames, but they're kind of lightweight. But what you want to do is you want to completely deconstruct them, and you want to begin by taking out the glass, remove it completely from the frame and set it aside. And then once you have everything out, you want to take those little tabs that hold the glass in, go ahead and remove those from the frame. We don't want those showing when we finish up our terrarium. So go ahead and set all those aside, and then you're going to take your 2 fences that you bought, the garden fences that we bought, and what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to cut these so that this design will be inside of the frame. So you want to carefully measure it and cut each piece out, and what you have left is just basically a arch or double arch, and then you want to also take the little arrow piece and use it as well. Once you have one cut, it's fairly easy to work with the next one because you can just kind of measure with it. But you want this to fit inside the frame when you're finished. And it's very easy to do with these little snips. See how it fits in? Okay, friends, I'm outside now, and I apologize, but I'm doing a voiceover for this part because the cicadas are in the background so loud that you could not hear what I was saying. And if I turn the volume up, it's even worse. So, anyway, I'm using this chalky finish classic white paint, and I've just laid out all the pieces. And what we're going to do is we're just going to spray paint both the fronts and the backs of all the pieces that we're going to be using from the Dollar Tree. This would be 6 frames and all of the pieces that we cut out from the garden fence. We're just going to do a light coat over them, and that'll be it. Are you a fan of budget-friendly decorating? DIY projects that don't cost anything but look like $1 million, going to the thrift store and turning a piece of junk into a masterpiece, then you're in the right place, because that's what we're all about here at the Ponds Farmhouse. We help you to create the home of your dreams, but on a budget. So if you are interested in following along with us, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel, and let's get started with the adventures. Hey friends, we're back for day 2 of our glass terrarium that we're working on. All the paint has dried, so now what we're going to be doing next is I'm going to be adding a little bit of dark wax to these to give them a little bit more of a distressed look. Now this is an optional step because you could easily do this with these pure white. They look great. But I had already taken the stool. This is my thrift store stool that I'm going to be using as the base for my standing glass terrarium. And so what I wanted to do was kind of make it match. This, I used like a dry brush of old white chalk paint on it, and it just gave it a kind of a rustic look. And that's basically, I'm not going to try to match it exactly, but I'm wanting to make this a little bit more rustic than it is. I also have all the pieces of the garden fence that we're going to be putting a little bit of distress on as well. Then we're going to be putting the whole thing together. So let's get started. Okay, now that the paint has dried, we're going over the entire frame with some dark wax. This is just going to give it a little bit of a distressed look, and this is an optional step. If you prefer the pure white look, that is perfectly fine, or whatever color you chose to paint your frames. But we're going to go over all of the frames and all the little pieces that we painted white. Everything that we painted white, we're going to use this wax on. And then once you have everything completely covered with the wax, you just want to go back over it, wipe it away a little bit, make sure there's no excess wax on it. For the next step, we're adding hot glue to the inside rim of the picture frame. And then we're placing the glass back inside and just pressing it down into the glue to hold it there. Go ahead and do all of your windows like this. Each one of them will have their glass placed back inside. Then what you're going to do is you're going to turn them over and you're going to make sure everything's clean first, and then you're going to start adding your embellishment. And what we're adding here is those little arches first, and you're just going to add some hot glue to the back of it, and you're just going to place it right on top of the glass and press it into place. Then turn your frame over and put hot glue on the back side to make it extra secure. So again, it's real important to have these clean and neat looking. Once you get all of your, you're only going to be doing 4 windows with the arches in them, the embellishment. But just really be sure that you give a good coating of the hot glue on the back side so that everything is really secure and the glass will not fall out. Now we're ready to put the pieces together. We're going to use 4 of the frames with the embellishment. You're going to add the E6000 glue first, and then go over the top of that with the hot glue. That will hold it, make it adhere permanently plus quickly. Hold it in place, and then we're ready to add another side once that has dried. So go ahead and then do the same thing on your next piece. You're just going to add the permanent glue first, which is the E6000, which is going to hold it really secure. And then you're going to go over the top of that with some hot glue, which will help it to dry quickly and hold there in place so that you can move on with your project. We're going to add the final piece here. Just taking this piece, I'm just showing you where to put the glue. You just went right along the very edge here, and then put the hot glue on top of that, just really quickly, and then press it into place. And you just want to be sure once you have all this in that all of your corners have lined up. If you see any gaps, you want to fill it in with some extra hot glue, that sort of thing. Once this is dry, we're going to move it over and place it on the wooden stool for our base. And what we're using here again is the E6000 glue first. And you want to do this step really quickly. Go ahead and apply to the peak of where your roof is going to come in. Then go back over everything real quickly with hot glue. You want all the pieces ready to go once you start assembling. And then just go ahead and put the 2 pieces on the side, bring them together at the top. Make sure everything is aligned perfectly, press it together really good, and it's just that easy. The final step is adding a little bit more embellishment. We're going to add 2 of the little arrows that we cut off of the garden fence and just put them up here at the peak of the roof. Isn't that cute? Let's see how it looks decorated.